Hello everybody, welcome back to Fire with Dr. Ninja Turtle. It's Happy Mother's Day, Sunday, May 10th, and I am out walking farther than I've ever walked before because I talked about increasing my walking to 1.5 to 2 miles. And I am doing the best I can today. I've walked all the way to the end of my road, and I turned on the camera for my walk home because I wanted to talk to everybody about my finances, of course. You know, I've talked about retiring on a low income and with a low amount of savings in my 401k. And all of that is still true. And I am surviving. Now, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I have really good months and I have very bad months. And this just happens to be a low income month. And guess what? I have enough. And that's the key. You know, my quote of the day today, which I really needed, was life doesn't happen to you, you happen to life. So tomorrow I will get in my rental income for the month and I'll get in my Social Security. They both sort of come around the 11th or so of the month. And when I looked at my expected rental income, I'm just going to take a second and stop and look at these houses that are sort of buried off the side of the road. And I've walked this far before, but I've never walked past this point. And look at that house. You could barely see it in there. It's sort of like a little shack kind of a thing, but I think someone lived there at one point in time. But this is my favorite house that's coming up here. And this one is totally sort of buried here and abandoned. And when I'm driving down this road, when I first started driving down here, I never even saw this house. And you know what's really neat is you may or may not be able to see this, but there are a couple of chairs on the front porch. Let's see if I can zoom in. You may or may not be able to see that, but there are chairs on the front porch where it looks like somebody just sat out on the front porch waving at neighbors. And I can't tell you how many years this house has been here abandoned and stuff. So I'm sure it's, you know, early 1900s or something. And whatever family owned the land just said, leave it, don't touch it. And that is some of the history here. So let's go looking back down the road and get back to what we were talking about here, which is one, me increasing my health from, and only 2 cars have gone down this whole road. And I met a nice lady in a house behind me, and she said that she estimates that me walking up and down this entire road would be about 3 miles. So we will see when I get home. But this is better than I was doing before April, before the 1 mile a day walk challenge. And this is much better than I've done probably in the last 6 months. So I would say I'm getting back to becoming a healthier person. But let's go back to what I was talking about with my finances there for the month of May. And, you know, of course, all of this will be in my end of month video, the actual numbers. But one of the things that I try to do at the beginning of the month is estimate my income. And this month, I estimated wrong. A lot of different things happened where my estimates weren't even close. And so here I am at the 10th of the month, reviewing my finances and estimated income again. And now it's more reality. And so while I have enough income, it just barely covers everything that I have going on. So am I really looking forward to June? Yes, because I will have more classes in June, and I'm down to just teaching one class right now, which is basically the lowest amount of income that I'll have coming in. I should be teaching 3 classes, 4 classes or so for the rest of the year. And therefore, I'll have more income each month for the rest of the year. But this is my lowest income month so far. And on top of only teaching one class, so only having a paycheck every couple of weeks, as opposed to a paycheck every week, my rental income is low because we had a lot of maintenance this month. I bought older rental properties, and you have to know this. Affordable older rental properties come with higher maintenance. And that is part of the deal. So if you don't want the maintenance costs, buy newer properties if you can afford them. A lot of people are buying new builds and renting them because they don't want the maintenance costs. I did the best I could financially do at the time, and that's why I have a lot of maintenance costs. Every once in a while, I don't have a lot of maintenance costs, which means I have a really good income. And also, once I start paying off the rentals, which is where I'm headed, I'm at the very beginning of the train just leaving the station. So I have to get up to speed with this debt payoff. And so as I continue month after month, and trust me, this is very slow going, especially this first month where I owe the IRS, so I'm making that first payment this month. I have only one class, and I had a lot of rental expenses. So it's the perfect storm, if you will. And so that's where things are happening. I'm just looking at the house across the way. It's a really nice house. And I like filming houses. I like looking at houses while I'm out riding my motorcycle, which I hope to do as the weather's getting better. But it rained all week. And so therefore, I didn't get to ride at all this week. And as you all know, I went and did my cardio, which is a YouTube video out of Australia. I went and did my cardio yesterday because it was raining and I wanted to get in my 1 mile. So I am now determined to continue this walking and exercising and getting my health better as I get my finances in better shape. And so we are viewing the road, and I'm not going to hold you on too much longer because I still have a ways to go before I get home. And here's the thing is I did not see any cows today. So this is a no cow day on my road. Although because it's Mother's Day, I don't know. Different people, I guess, are visiting with family because I see a lot of cars in front of some houses, and in other houses you see no cars, which means that they're probably traveling, But, with this country road, there is no telling what you're going to see, but I can tell you it's very beautiful, and I'm now entering a shady part. So it's just really nice, and I never see very many cars, which makes me feel safe. And the lady that I talked to at the other end of the road, she said she does laps. And a lot of my neighbors that I'm starting to meet here on my road walk up and down this road. Apparently there was a dog that wasn't inside his yard, and so she would stop and turn around and just do laps on her end of the road. But I've met other neighbors on my road that walk early in the morning. I've met a young couple that walked in the evening, and I ran into them while I was out walking one evening. And it's just a beautiful thing that you're on this quiet country road where a lot of people are out walking at different times of the day. taking care of their health. You know, and the one thing the lady that I just met said is that this road is very safe to walk on because it's very quiet and very few cars ever come down this road. And so I just wanted to come on here and talk about my May expenses, and my May income is just barely covering my expenses. But that's all I need. That's all I need. Les Brown says that in the hard times, you put it in your heart. In the good times, you put it in your pocket. And so this is one of those low income months where I just have to put it in my heart and say very little debt payoff this month, but debt payoff nonetheless. And every little bit of debt payoff counts. That's my point. Whether you're paying off $5, $10, it doesn't matter. Just keep paying down your debt, because that's what I'm doing. I'm not making big, huge swings this month. Maybe in June or July, I can make some bigger swings, but not this month. And that's my life as a person who retired on a low income with a low amount of money in savings and retirement, just doing the best they can to build wealth and become debt-free. So I want to say again, happy Mother's Day, and I will talk to you all on another day. Never let your past determine your future.